Okay, so we're going to do a simple distal limb bandage, so the kind of bandage you'd want to apply if the horse had a wound and you're waiting for the vet to come. So I'm going to use my little bit of red tape as my makeshift wound on my horse's limb, and I've got my gloves on already. So I'm going to start with a wound dressing. So this is your primary layer, and all I'm going to do, because it's not going to be on for very long, is just use a nice dressing that's just going to cover the wound. It's not absorbent or anything like that. It does come with a shiny side and a non-shiny side, and the shiny side's always going to go to the wound. So I'm going to put the shiny side onto the wound. I'm going to hold it in place with some orthopedic foam. So these come in rolls. We like to use the 15cm rolls because they tend to dissipate the pressure better on the limb. So I'm just going to, hello pony, good boy. Just going to pop the dressing on there. I'm just going to hold that in place with my orthopedic padding. And the most important thing about bandaging really is to get nice even coverage and nice even layers. So I'm just going to overlap the bandage by half each time to make sure that the pressure I'm putting on is even all the way up and down the limb. And that is the most important thing about bandaging horses, is that you keep the pressure nice and even. We don't really want any lumps or bumps in the bandage. We don't want any areas of more focal pressure than anywhere else, because that's where we get bandage sores in horses, and once we get bandage sores, they're really, really difficult to treat. So that's my orthopedic padding on, and that sticks to itself, so it stays in place. My next layer is going to be my cotton wool, which I'm just going to put on a nice one wrap just round like this. If I wanted to apply a lot of pressure or there was a lot of bleeding, I'd probably do more than one layer, but one layer is absolutely fine for the purposes of this demonstration. Just cut that off and just make sure that we're all nice and straight and flush, and we've got no lumps or bumps in there. So that's cotton wool, that's padding, and that's my secondary layer. I'm going to hold this in place with a stretchy bandage that holds a bit the foam in place, the padding in place, and also applies a bit of pressure. I'm always starting at the bottom of the limb, and with this bandage it's really important to leave a little bit of cotton wool at the bottom and at the top, because this can cause a lot of damage to the horse's skin if we apply it straight on. So we're just going to put this on there like that, leaving a little bit at the bottom, and apply some firm pressure. So not really, really hard pressure, but just firm, so it's going to stay on, because if we apply too much pressure, what we get again, pressure sores. Pressure sores are really, really difficult to deal with in horses. We don't want any injuries. It prevents us putting any more bandages on them, which is not ideal for our patients. So I'm just making sure as I go up and down the limb, I'm overlapping by half each time. I'm keeping the pressure constant and looking out for any lumps or bumps that might be occurring in the bandage. I just want that on nice even coverage there. Working my way up and down the limb. Sure I've not got any creases. I'm just going to hold this in place with some tape. I don't really want to tuck it in, because again, if you tuck it in, you're basically creating a focal pressure point. So I just want to hold that in place with some tape. At this point, I can take my gloves off. I'll take those off and put them there. I'm going to apply my tertiary layer to the bandage now. So this is basically a self-adhesive bandage, sticks to itself, good lad, and just holds the bandage in place and just finishes it off nicely. So again, working from the bottom of the limb up, and what I'm looking for with this is that it's a nice even covering. I don't really want any creases or lumps in it. I'm just going to make sure it's straight as I put it on as I go up and down the limb. And again, trying to overlap by 50% each time, just to make sure that even with this bandage, we're nice and even all the way up and down the leg. That's good. Good boy. Good lad. I'm just going to cut that off there. I don't really need to use the whole roll. Just get it to stick to itself. Lovely. Just to hold the bandage in place, if you want to stop any dirt getting down, if you're going to travel the horse to a hospital, I'm just going to pop a layer of self-adhesive bandage at the top and the bottom. Just need one wrap really. You don't really want to put it on too tight, and then just cut it off, pop it on, and that'll just help to keep your bandage up and stop any kind of dirt getting in underneath if you're travelling the horse, or if you're just waiting for the vet to come on the yard as well. It just finishes your bandage off nicely. That there. So that is just a simple distal limb bandage that if you wanted to apply just while you're waiting for the vet to come to the yard.